Today, we're diving into what makes a company truly valuable. And let me tell you, the answer goes way beyond the profit and loss statements we're all used to seeing. We're about to uncover a much bigger story, one that just might change how you see the entire business world.
You know, we're so often taught to look at profit, at revenue, at that famous bottom line. But what if I told you that's just one chapter of a much, much bigger story? That those traditional financial reports, as important as they are really only telling us a fraction of the tale.
So yeah, our first step has to be to look beyond that bottom line, because what's missing from the usual reports is often where the most interesting and the most important parts of a company's story are hiding.
Think about it like this. A financial statement is like a perfectly focused photograph. It's sharp, it's accurate, but it's completely still. It's frozen in one single moment in time. It just can't capture the dynamic things that really drive a business forward, you know? Things like the skills of its people, the trust of its customers, or its impact on the environment. It misses the motion picture of how value is actually created over time.
So if the old way gives us a static photo, how do we get the full movie? Well, the answer lies in a framework designed to tell this bigger, more complete story. It's called integrated reporting.
At its heart, integrated reporting, or IR for short, is a way for a company to communicate how it generates value beyond just the numbers. It connects all the dots and focuses not just on this quarter's results, but on building sustainable success over the short, medium, and crucially, the long term.
This slide kind of shows us the foundation of it all. IR really rests on three big ideas. First is integrated thinking, which is all about getting every part of a company to see how their work connects to everything else. Second is the integrated report itself. That's the document that tells this whole connected story. And third, the engine behind it all, a much, much broader definition of value creation.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. If value isn't just about money, then where does it actually come from? Well, IR gives us a totally new lens to see the true sources of a company's worth.
This is really the central question that integrated reporting forces us to ask. And the answer it gives us is both incredibly simple and really, really powerful.
Get this. The framework proposes that organizations build value from 6 key resources, which it calls capitals. Think of them like the fundamental ingredients for success. Let's break each one down.
First up, the one we all know, financial capital. This is the money, right? The equity, the debt, the cash that fuels the whole business. It's absolutely essential, but it's only one of 6.
Next is manufactured capital. This is all the physical stuff, factories, equipment, infrastructure. But here's a key insight. It's not just about what a company owns, but what it has access to. Imagine a company relies on a port to ship its goods. If that port suddenly shuts down, the company's manufactured capital takes a huge hit, even if they never owned a single brick of it. Third, we've got natural capital. This is our environment. The air, the water, the land, the minerals that a company totally depends on. It's the ultimate source of all raw materials and, let's be honest, a massive factor in any company's long-term survival.
Okay, now let's look at 2 capitals that people mix up all the time, intellectual and human. The crucial difference is this. Human capital is the knowledge, the skills, and the experience that's inside your employees' heads. It literally walks out the door every evening. Intellectual capital, on the other hand, is the knowledge the organization itself owns, patents, software, systems, brand secrets. That stuff stays with the company.
And finally, there's social and relationship capital. This covers everything from brand reputation to community trust, what's often called a social license to operate. It's the strength of a company's relationships with everyone it depends on. You can't really put a price on it, but its value is absolutely immense.
So how does this actually work in the real world? Well, we can see it right here. Coca-Cola reports on its natural capital by tracking how much water it's using. Philips measures its investment in intellectual capital through R&D spending. Clorox can point to its social capital through things like employee volunteer hours. And Smithfield shows its commitment to human capital by tracking employee safety rates. It's all connected.
Okay, so those are the 6 core ingredients, the capitals. But how does a company actually use them? Well, that brings us to the recipe, the process of value creation itself.
This process is basically a continuous loop. It begins with inputs. That's the 6 capitals a company starts with. Through its business activities, it transforms those inputs into outputs, its products, its services, and, yeah, even its waste. But the really crucial final step is the outcomes. These are the consequences of what the company does, and they have a real effect either positive or negative, on those original 6 capitals.
And this is the most important part to get. Those outcomes circle right back to either grow or shrink the company's stock of capitals for the future. A profitable product? That increases your financial capital. Awesome. But what if making it polluted a river? Well, that just decreased your natural capital. Today's outcomes literally become tomorrow's starting point.
So why should we care about all this? What's the big takeaway here?
This quote from the source material really just nails it. It shows that a company can build tremendous value by investing in its people, its technology, or its brand. That value might not show up on this quarter's financial report, but believe me, it is absolutely essential for long-term success.
So here's the bottom line. First, a company's value is so much more than its profit. Second, that true value is built on all 6 of these capitals. Third, a company's actions are constantly increasing, decreasing, or transforming these capitals, whether they realize it or not. And finally, integrated reporting gives us the language to understand this complete, long-term story.
And so that really leaves us with a question. The next time you evaluate a company, as an investor, a customer, or even an employee, are you going to settle for just the financial snapshot? Or are you going to look deeper for the full story of how it creates value in the world? Thanks for joining this explainer.